I'll show you how to make a handmade bow. It takes some practice, but it's worth it. Hi, I'm Glory B, and this is Glory B TV. It's been a while since I've made a video showing how to make a handmade bow. I usually don't make those kind of videos anymore, but I thought I'd do one anyway now that I have some better lighting and better camera than the last time I did this. So let's get right to supplies. I always make my handmade bows for gifts from Satin Ribbon, and for me, I always buy it at a florist. Now you can try a store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, check out what kind of satin ribbon they have, but also check out your local florist. You can buy it by the yard, or I buy entire bolts, especially for colors that I know I'm going to use, such as red and green. And then I'll also take a swatch from some roll wrap that I have, some wrapping paper, and I'll buy according to that. So the only thing is that I want to tell you too is that I only buy these two sizes. Now this smaller size is known in the industry as a number 3 satin ribbon. It's actually 9/16 of an inch wide, and the florist will know what you mean by number 3. Then this other wider one is called number 9. This one is 1 5/16 inch wide, but they'll know what you mean by number 9. Today we're going to use the number 3 because it's so much easier to learn with this. The other supply you'll need is floral wire. I always buy these from the florist as well. They come in different thicknesses. The thickness is known as the gauge, and I don't know what gauge I'm holding in my hand right now. I usually buy 2 or 3 different gauges. I would suggest that you go to the florist and ask them to bring out like 3 different kinds. If it's too thick, it'll be too hard to hold. If it's too thin, it can fall out of your hand. So if you're torn between 2 gauges, I would suggest buy them both and buy a few of each. And they'll tell you how much they'll sell it to you for. I would normally, in years past, get this at a floral supply warehouse that sells to the trade, but you can buy them right there. Then you'll need some scissors, and you will need wire cutters. If you don't have any wire cutters yet, these are great to have around the house anyway. So yeah, and then the other thing I want to tell you about this, you might be tempted to buy floral wire from a craft store. I'm going to show 2 kinds here. Don't buy these wrapped around cardboard or wrapped in a circle. I once bought one of these, and no, I probably bought them both, and I couldn't stand them. When they're already wrapped like that and they're not straight anymore, they're very difficult to use. They're not right. And when I bought them, I already knew how to make bows. So if you're new to this, just buy them at your florist. And if you wonder about the price, call a few florists in your area and ask them what they would sell floral wire to you for. When I order bolts of ribbon, they usually don't have it in the store. They have to order it for me, and they usually get a daily shipment. All right, so let's get right to the tutorial. So the supplies I'm working with are the satin ribbon in the number 3, which is the 9/16 inch width, and scissors, wire cutters, and then some wire. So when I'm making a bow and I'm starting off with this big piece of wire, I always clip it in half, unless I'm making a gigantic bow, which you're not going to start off making. So all I really need is this one piece. I'm going to move the others out of the way. I just need this one piece, half piece. And then for my ribbon, I like to pull out a bunch. So when you're first starting, you only want to make about a 6 loop bow, and then work up to 8 and work up to 10. Now what we're going to do is start by using the ribbon and looking at it on the wrong side. So if you look at the ribbon, you'll notice it has a more refined side, and then it has a side that's not as refined. So if you're buying satin ribbon and they say two-sided, well, it is two-sided, of course it is. But it obviously has a right side. And when you pull it off the bolt, what you have on the top part here showing on the outside of the bolt, that's the right side. Just like fabric has a right side and a wrong side. So you're going to start with it on the wrong side looking at you. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do this as a right-handed person. So if you're left-handed, like a lot of things, just have to figure out the opposite. So I'm going to start with it in my left hand. And it's now a challenge for me because if you watch any of my other videos on my channel, you know I've had hand surgery on my left hand and I need to have it on my right. So holding things tightly is a challenge for me too, which it will be for you when you first learn to make bows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my right index finger and thumb to twist the ribbon as we go along. And the left hand is just going to hold the entire thing. So here I'm just going to start by twisting once and then making a loop. So I need my left hand to really hold on to this entire thing. Okay, and then I'm going to twist again and catch it with two fingers and a thumb in my left hand and make the other loop. And as I do that, you noticed I was holding it for a second with one finger and one thumb, and I lifted up so that I could put that loop right in place at just a split second. So here I'm twisting again. I'm about to make the third loop, and there's my third loop. I caught it with my index finger. Now I'm going to twist, put the twist right under my index finger, hold it down with my middle finger, make the fourth loop, and catch it again. So I just keep repeating that process using my index finger and my middle finger to hold everything. Now these loops, you have the outer right side of the fabric of the ribbon on the outside, and then the wrong side is inside. So here I'm making my fifth loop, twisting and holding, and my sixth loop, and I suggest you practice making 6 loop bows. Now you might drop it, and that's okay, because if you drop it, you can just start all over where all these indentations are, starting with the wrong side facing you. Let's do it again. So make a twist and catch it, and make your first loop and catch it. Then twist and catch it again, and make your second loop and catch the second loop. And then twist it and make your third loop, catch it, twist and catch that twist, and make the fourth loop, catch it, and twist and catch the twist. Now I'll make the fifth loop, catch it, twist and hold, sixth loop, and I'm going to twist it and hold. I'm going to make 8 loops. So here's my 7th loop and twist, and 8 loops and twist. And I'm going to stop right there. So after you make 6 loop bows for a while, make 8 loop bows. And I'm going to cut the ribbon. And now it's time for the wire. So I'll move everything out of the way. And remember, this is half a wire that I cut earlier. And I'm going to slip it between my fingers. See, I'm still holding this bow tightly with my index finger and my thumb. And I'm going to put the wire between my first 2 fingers, the index in the middle, through my hand. See me slipping it through, and then it's going to come through by my thumb, and then I'm going to bend it right around the center part of the wire, around the center of the bow. So I'm still holding the bow very tightly with my left hand. Here's what the wire looks like now. It's got that bend in the middle, and I'm going to quickly slip my left hand out of the way while I'm holding tightly to both sides of the wire, the bent wire, and I'm going to pull it down on the middle of the bow. So now I'm holding it just with my right hand. This is where it's going to be twisted very tightly because you want a really tight center. So what I'm going to do here is hold the bow still in a moment with my left hand, and I'm going to give it a twist or two with the right hand. So the wire's being twisted, and I want that twist to go really tightly into the center of the bow. So I'm going to give it a twist, and I'm going to hold the wire with my right hand and then just twist the bow with my left. It's a little easier. And then this way, the twist is going into the middle of the bow, that direction, and tightening that center, because you don't want it to be loosey-goosey in the middle. You want it to be a really tight hold. So now I've got my 2 tails, and then I've got 8 loops, and you know, I've got 4 on each side right now. It's not fluffed yet, but I want it to be really tight. So now I'm going to put this on a package. So I need to cut these wires, and that's what the wire cutters are for. I'm going to get it fairly close to the twist. So now it's not fluffed. After I tie it on the package in the center, I will fluff it, which I'm showing here without putting in a package what fluffing means. It just means you're moving the loops around so that it looks really pretty on the package. So practice doing this. 6 loop bows, 8 loop bows, 10, 12, 14, till you can get to a 16, and then go to the number 9 ribbon after that. So that little bow you can add to a package and tie it right on in the center, and then clip off the ends, and then play with the loops to get them where you want them. Check out one of my other videos, like how to make gift tags, which is also fun, by clicking its image on the right side of your screen, and I'll see you in the next video.